Welcome to Papyrus Plans. I'm Tasha. Ready to create something beautiful? Let's dive in.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's work on my monthly faith-focused spread for the month of October together. So this month I thought we would do the theme of Paul's shipwreck. And the Apostle Paul had gone on several missionary trips, essentially, preaching the good news to Jews all over Jerusalem. But a lot of the Jewish leaders, they didn't like that. And so they had him arrested and thrown in jail. But Paul was a Roman citizen. And so he petitioned to be moved to Rome. And he was shipwrecked in the process of him being moved from Israel to Rome. But an angel appeared to him and told him that the ship was indeed going to be completely wrecked, but that there would be no loss of life, that both Paul and all of the men on board would be able to get safely to shore. And that's exactly what happened. And so it's just kind of a testament of the goodness of God and how even in your worst circumstances, right? Like he was in prison and yet he still was ministering to the people around him and led so many people to Christ in spite of his circumstances and what many people would consider very negative circumstances. But he used those circumstances for the glory of God, which I think is pretty cool. So I have these illustrations and I downloaded these from freebibleimages.org. They have some really cool illustrations. And basically what I did is kind of similar to Jonah, which, let's see, was that June, July? I can't remember now. No, I did Joseph in June. So it must have been earlier, maybe April or May? May, okay. So for May, I did this really cool effect that I usually reserve for my creative journal, but I use the Pops of Color by scrapbook.com, and again, kind of just use that to create this really cool effect. So I did that in May, and I think I have a playlist of all of my monthly spreads if you want to check that out. So I kind of did a similar thing here with the water. I used this really cool, this is like a glitter, what is this one called? Glitter Royal Blue. Okay, that's what it's called. So I used the Glitter Royal Blue for the water and a couple of the other like pearlized blue finishes. And then I used the white pearl color for like the splashes of water. So that's kind of what it looks like close up. So hopefully the camera is picking up on that really cool effect. And it kind of gives it this kind of three-dimensional shimmer. And again, you can layer as little or as much as you want. So I just kind of followed the water pattern and kind of layered on the different colors, again, to kind of give it that really nice effect. And you know how water, when you look at it, like especially with like moonlight or sunlight, it looks like a shimmering, which is why I used the glitter. And again, I just kind of layered on other colors of like the pale blue here, like this teal blue, and then just used the pearlized white for like the foam of the waves crashing against the boat and the shore. So that's how I created that effect. And again, I've used that technique several different times. I did it first in my creative journal, and then I did it for the story of Jonah, and then now for this. So I thought it would be kind of cool. So again, I'll try to remember to link directly to where I got these images from on freebibleimages.org, or you can just search if you like. I don't always use boxes, but since I have these boxes left over, I thought I would make use of them. So I pulled like all the colors I had in blue. So I'll have these ones are left over from the Martina Sticker Company, and I think these are too. Yeah, these look like they are. And then these are the boxes that I made. But I have tons of blue boxes. So I think what I'm going to do is just use the squares because that should more or less fit in those areas. And then kind of fit them around, the elements of the story. Okay, so I think that's what we'll do. I just realized I printed this sticker twice. So this is the angel of the Lord appearing before them and before Paul while everyone else is asleep and telling him that you're going to be shipwrecked, but you're going to survive, and all of the men on the ship are going to survive too. So this is the eye of the storm and then where they're traveling. So maybe I'll put this in the sidebar here or even up here. Let's see, do I want to cover up Sunday? I mean, I could. I usually try not to do that, but... Ooh, let's see. Will it fit here? Like this. I might do this, and then... cut off this right edge here that goes over. Just a small little piece here. And then a small little sliver at the top. Okay. Yeah, that way I can still see Sunday, but it doesn't cover that up. So maybe I'll do the same thing over here. No, I can't because I have Saturday. Okay, so maybe I won't do that. Or maybe I'll cover up. Let's see, where is it? Okay, I have 4 days here. So maybe I'll cover up these two and then have 3 and 4 left over. This is the journey that they traveled. And I might trim off some of the top and see if that fits. And if not, I'll trim off some on the bottom. Okay, just a little bit on the bottom. And I'm just kind of eyeballing here. If you want to make it exact, you could measure it. Or sometimes what I do is I'll put it down and then trim around it. But, I mean, that's not bad for eyeballing. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. Okay, so I have that there. So that's the journey they took. And this is them preparing to leave. So I think I'll layer this one over top of this. Or maybe like this. I'll cover up 5 since I have these other 2 here, so I can afford to do it. So as long as I got to keep these 2 boxes. And let's see. Maybe I'll trim this down. Actually, now I'm looking at it so I can keep 6 and 7. Or what I'll do is bring it maybe to the edge of 6, but not go into 6. So kind of use this as a guide and see how that looks. That's slight. Oh, and I put it, I put it down sideways. Oh my goodness. Let's turn it the right way, Tasha. Goodness gracious. Okay. Let me reposition that. There we go. I mean, still slightly crooked, but boy, it's really hard to do this while you're trying to keep this straight and this left and top straight. But let's see if I can do it. Try one more time. There we go. Okay. Now that's down straight. Okay, so I have them doing the prep there. And then loading the boat. Let's see, do I want to... See, I wonder if this will fit if I trim it. If I trim off some of the top, maybe. Let's see, how far does it go over the bottom? I'm going to trim off a little bit of the bottom and see how far it goes over. And maybe a little off the top without cutting off anyone's head. It's going to come really close, but let's see if this will fit in this box here. Okay, need to trim a little bit more. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Just to see if I can get it to fit. I mean, sometimes I try to get more precise, but it's really up to you. Some days I feel like doing that, some days I do not. Okay. Again, close enough. Not bad for eyeballing it. I mean, I'm off by like a 32nd of an inch, but you know what? I'm going to give myself grace. Okay. So that works. Now maybe I should start putting down some boxes before I forget. Because I want to make sure I have at least 2 boxes each week. 3 ideally, but at least 2. Let's see. And I might have to cover this up. Or, yeah, okay, let me see if I can trim. This is slightly larger because I didn't make these to be monthly boxes, so that's why these are a little bit bigger. I'm just going to trim off some of the, off of each side and see if I can get it to fit. And again, I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, that worked. And I can almost fit. Ooh, if I do it like that, I can see the number still. Or do I want to put the number inside? I might put the number inside. Okay, so I think it'll fit, but I got to bring it all the way to the edge, and then try to. I didn't cut this evenly, so it's kind of hard to center it, but just bring it inside this edge of this box so it doesn't go into the fourth. Okay, like I said, I didn't cut that evenly, but we're gonna deal with it. Okay, so maybe do these two here. And let's see what happens if I just do two sides. Will it still fit? I think it might. Let's see. Not quite. Okay, so it goes. I think I technically only need to do three sides, but then one side will be lopsided, so I'll go ahead and do all four like I did before, even though it's going to make it slightly smaller, just so they're relatively even. I mean, again, it's not going to be exact because I'm doing this by hand, but there we go. Close enough, right? And I think, you know what I might do is get that new Happy Planner numbers, Essential Dates and Numbers, I think it's called. And because they have some really tiny numbers that I can put here. So I think I might do that. Let's see if I can reach it. There we go. I think there's some tiny numbers in the back. And I have a really quick flip through of this if you want to see it on my channel as well. Yeah, these are the ones. See how small they are? I mean, that'll fit perfectly. Okay, what did I say this was? Ooh. Is this 2 and 3? Hold on. Let me get... I forgot. I just covered this up and I don't know what it is. Let's see. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So October 1st starts on a Wednesday. Let me just double check. Okay, so that is right. October the 1st starts on a Wednesday. 1, 2. So this is the 3rd. Just making sure my math is right before I put this down. Okay. So I have, you know what? I think I might use these in the back here. I wasn't sure why Happy Planner gave us these individual numbers, but actually I think that's going to work out well. So I don't have to break up this set. That's a full set of 31. I don't really like doing that unless I absolutely have to. So I think I might do that since I just need the individual numbers. So let's see, let me get my tweezers. And let's see, what did I say? This is the 3rd. Yeah, the 3rd and the 4th. So I'm going to get the 3 and the 4 here. And these are super tiny, but they're so cute. And you can still see them, which I love. And see, maybe I'll zoom in so you can see. But that's the number. Like, you see how tiny that is? It's super tiny, but that's what I want because it's going to fit in the box over here. So let's put the 3 in this corner here. And then grab the 4. Oops, it's crooked. We're going to lift this up. There we go. Okay. So at 3 and 4 there, let's see. So we used the 2 squares of this one. So I'm going to keep that number book out to date the rest of these. Let's see. You know what? I might do like a gradated since I have so many different color blues. I might do that. And you know what I mean? Like do each of these. So I'm going to cut off the offset on all the sides and actually cut into the box on each side as well. Again, just so it fits. Again, just eyeballing. Okay, put that there. And then maybe have, so that's the 8th and the 9th. Try to remember. Cut off this one next to it. And again, I'm eyeballing just to make it faster, because if I try to do it precise, I mean, you can, but because of the box, it's going to be very time consuming. So I'm choosing not to do that. I mean, sometimes I'll do super precise cuts, but in a situation like this, I think getting it close is good enough. I don't necessarily have the need to get it super accurate, as long as it fits. And I'll make sure I turn this the right way so it'll fit in the box. So this way. And it's going to be slightly bigger, but did I cut this? Oh, I cut this one a little shorter, but we're going to live with it. I'll bring it down slightly so it's not quite as noticeable. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, just good enough to use. Okay, so that's the 8th and the 9th. So again, I'm gonna come in and get one of these tiny numbers. Get the number 8. And 9. I love that they made super tiny numbers, large numbers, medium-sized numbers. So you get different styles and different sizes, which is really nice. Like, that's perfect. It's very unobtrusive, and so it leaves that whole box for me to write in, which I love. All right, so that works. Let's see. Might do 2 boxes here too. And then maybe another scene over here. So, or should I do a scene here and maybe 1 box here? So do I have any more of this color? I don't think I do. And I could use an oblong box, but then that's going to be a different shape. So maybe I won't. Okay, I have these other ones. Let's see. Let me see if I have any more of this blue color. Let's see. Might have some leftover boxes in here. I don't know if I do. Got yellow, coral, black and orange. Okay, I think that's the only, I don't think I have any more light blue. Like this periwinkle color. I don't know if I want to bring that color in, maybe. Okay, I think that's all I have left. Okay, so these are all the blues I have left. Just kind of bring in the gradation. And then that way I'll get into the darker blues here. And I'll have one of the blues for each of these, a different color blue for the 3 last weeks. So I might use this one, even though it's technically not blue, but just to kind of get a different color. And I wish I'd used this first. But I'm scared to move it, so I bet not. I better not. Okay, so I do 2 here. Then I can have, let's see, where's the other scene at? The angel of the Lord appearing here. And then maybe the shipwreck on this side. And then these 3 over here, because I have more space on this side. Yeah, I think I might do that. Okay, so let's put this down here. And I might trim this slightly so it doesn't go into 18, just in case I want to use these 2. So I'm going to trim the top slightly and the side slightly. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it just to fit in the space because it doesn't need to be a certain length. I'm just making it so it doesn't cover up the numbers in case I want to use these boxes. I mean, I need to take a little bit more off. And it's trying to tear, so I'm going to leave it on the planner page and do it like this. We're freestyling. Ooh, I don't know if I can. Hold on. I might have to pick this up. I just need a sliver off the top or the bottom. I might do a small sliver there and here. Okay. Again, just so I don't cover up the numbers here in case I want to put boxes there. Okay, so that works. Now let's put this. Now, since these are Martina Sticker Company and these are the boxes I made, they're going to be different. So I'm going to trim off the offset on this. I think my boxes are slightly smaller, so I might not need to trim off more than that. Yeah. Do it like this. And raise it slightly. Okay, so I didn't need to trim off all of the offset. So this is 6 and 7. So my box I might just be able to put down. Yeah, I think I can. And just so this doesn't go over, just trim the offset off on the right. Okay, so what did I say, 6 and 7? Say 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6, 7. Okay. So we'll go back here and get 6 and 7. And because my border is wider, I'm going to put the number, I think, in the border. That way I have the entire box to write in. Okay, so we got 6 and 7. So second week I'll have 4 days to write in, the first week 2. So that's nice. I got some bonus days there. Okay, now let's go to, let's see, the second color. Let's see, are these the same? These might be the same. I think they are. So maybe I'll use the other 2 squares on this side for here. Yeah, I might do that. Okay. Let's see, let's get the scenes. Okay, we got the shipwreck. Or maybe I'll do 1 square here and 1 square here. I might do that and cover this up. Let's see. I'm gonna trim this down slightly, like maybe 1/4 of an inch. I don't want to trim the bottom off because that's where I have the really cool effect. I don't want to keep that, at least as much of it as I can. And maybe do it like this. And then just trim off the right offset. This is 14. Okay. So let's see. Oh, okay, these are single numbers, so I got to do 1 and 4. Which I think that'll be fine, because I have so many of these. Again, so I don't have to break up the numbers for the full month, which I prefer not to do. Let me get a 1 here, then add a 4 to make 14. There we go. Okay, that works. And then let's have maybe this here on 17. And then we can figure out if we want to add another one somewhere. So 17, and then let's see if we have a scene to put there, which I might put these other two crashing boat scenes here. I think that would be kind of cool. So the storm raged on for 14 days. So can you imagine? You're on a ship, knowing that it's going to crash and be shipwrecked with certainty for 14 days. I mean, that's a long time. Let's see. Might have to cover up 22 and 23. Might do it like this. And will this fit here? Or maybe put this on the other side. I might do that. Let's see. I wonder if I have another one of these. Let me see if I have another set of that periwinkle color. I may not. Wait, is this a different color? I think that is. I'll pull that one too. It's like a really dark blue-green. Okay, I've got purple, gray. I think that might be all I have of the periwinkle. Oh, no, I don't. I got one more. Okay. Trying to decide if I want to do... I might do this over here because I have more space and put a box here on the 15th. And just trim off this offset. And put this here. And do my best not to go into the hole here, but slide it all the way over. I'm trying to cover up the 15 without going in the hole. I'm coming over as far as I can. About right there. So I don't cover up too much into that. Okay, I think that works. So that's 15. And then I can put this here. It's going to cover up 25. But I think that'll be fine. Or I could, actually I can do it like this. Layer it on top. That way if I need 25, I have it. And I think that might just fit. Okay, and that just fit over there. So that's perfect. Okay, so I need to add 15. So let me get a 1 and a 5 to make a 15. And again, I'm going to put it in the margin here of the border. So I'm not taking up precious box space. See what I do with my bone folder. There we go. Push that down. Okay, 15, 16, 17. So I need 17 here. I love that these are so tiny. They're perfect. Okay, so we got that row done. Now let's see. We've got one more large scene to put here and then one over here. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do this large one over here or put it directly over here. Got those two. 2, 2. Okay, I need to figure out how I want to do this because I don't want it directly underneath. I think I might put it on this side. I feel like it goes with this better because you got the storm raging on, so maybe I'll cover up this entire section, but raise it just above the 31 so it doesn't cover up that. I'm guesstimating on this edge here, but that's pretty close. I don't think that's bad. Okay, did I go over? No. Okay, I kind of guesstimated on this edge, but I didn't go over, so that's good. Okay, so now let's go to the next color. We've got, these are the same, I think. Yeah, so only one of those. I think I'll do it like this. So we'll get 2 of these. Again, trim off the offset on one side so I can put it on top of this one. And let's see, 22nd. Okay, 22nd there. And then do, or maybe do, actually I could do all 3 of these if I wanted to. I might do that since I have 3 left. Let's go ahead and do that. So this starts on the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. So 19th, try to remind myself of that. And make sure I cover up that number. And then just try to line them up as best I can. Okay, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Okay, so get a 1 and a 9. And since this is dark, I'm going to have to put it directly inside this time so that I can see the number. But it's still pretty unobtrusive, so I think that's fine. 2 and a 0. Bring it as close to this edge as I can. And then a 2 and a 1. And 2 2s. Okay, so we got 19 through 22. We use up those 4 squares there. Put that aside. Okay, so is this the same color? Yeah. So then we go to this one. And I think I'll do 30 and 31 just to kind of offset it, and maybe just 1 over here. So I have this larger scene. So let's do cover up 26th and 27th. I'm going to bring it all the way down without covering up the 28th. So we got that scene there. And that's with Paul meeting with the locals. And this actually technically comes before it. So maybe I should do, well, maybe I should take up all of this. I might do that. Take up this whole thing. And then make sure I just have at least 2 days of the last week. So let's see, how can I do this? Actually, I guess I didn't have to pick this up. Wish I could fit it here. I can't quite fit it. Or take up this whole side and cover up the entire 26th through 28th. Do I want to do that now? Let's see. Will this fit if I have this here? Ooh, okay, I think that will fit. Okay. All right, I think that might work. If I bring this all the way down to this edge here. It's kind of hard to... But let me get my cutting mat just so I can see this edge a little bit better. Ooh, don't stick, don't stick. Get this bottom edge and left edge. I might have to trim a little bit, but as close as I can. Okay, that works. And then I think I will cover up this entire side here, and then I still have these 3 days. So I'm gonna take this off so I can see it. And then will this fit? If I don't go, I'm gonna try not to have to cut any holes. Put this directly underneath 21 and line up these two. So it covers up the numbers without covering up these boxes. Okay. And then put this scene of them landing on shore and the locals and Paul making a fire. And the locals bringing them food. Okay, that fits. Okay, that's perfect. And I don't have to punch anything, which is great. Okay, so now I need 3 boxes here. Let's see, I've used up that. Is that the same? Yeah. So I've got this one or the darker one. I think I might use this one. So I need 3. Put this one here. This is the 31st. So the 29th through the 31st. It's basically what these are going to be. And actually, let me cut off this offset since it's going into this image. I'm just going to cut it off while it's still on the page. There we go. And cut off this offset as well on one side. That's a little, I think that's come out of the box slightly. I'm just going to line it up with this one. Try my best not to come over if I can. I have to come over slightly just because of these boxes are a little bit bigger. And that is crooked, but we're going to deal with it because it's starting to rip the paper and I don't want it to come up anymore. So we're going to live with that. And then let's see. Trim off the offset on this one. Again, since it's going to come slightly outside of the box, but I mean, just barely. I think it'll still work. And I'm just going to make these, again, as even as I can. That is crooked, so I'm trying to turn it slightly so it's not quite as crooked. That's good enough. Okay. All right, so let's get 29, 30, and 31. Three and 1. And I'm putting it just inside the box, so it takes up as little space as possible while still allowing me to see what the date is. Oops. Come on. 0 keeps moving. Sometimes with these tweezers, it's hard to put it down while also I'm using kind of the edge of my nail to try to keep it there until I move it. Oh my goodness. Come on, Zero. Cooperate. Oh! Did you guys see that? I just flicked the Zero up with my tweezers. And it is so tiny, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. So we're going to get another one. Because I have no clue where that went. And we got plenty, so I don't know how to find this little tiny little sticker. It's probably on the other side of my art studio. There's no telling. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, 31. And I'm trying to take up as little space as possible. These numbers are so small, they keep... Oh my god. The 1 got stuck to the 3, and now I've got to try to pry it apart. That's the only downside to these being so tiny, is they're a little hard to work with. Goodness. There we go. Let's try it again. 3. And 1. See, when I hold it with my nail, it's kind of hard because I'm trying to use something to hold it down long enough so I can move my tweezers and then push it back into place. Okay, I'm going to smush those down again just so they're not moving on me. All right, let's clean up and then we'll go take a look. All right, you guys, so this is going to be my monthly faith focus spread for the month of October with the theme of Paul's Shipwreck. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay inspired, and thank you for watching.